just sometimes you need somebody to just say that you look great.
I know.
A little crazy, but I think you just it is important, especially if you want to build new skills and kind of work on mastering different trends or different looks, because makeup is great for changing the way that you normally look, right? I mean, you can look completely different if you do your makeup a certain way, like kind of have a lifted look or look more bronzed, right? So, I mean, it's trial and error, and it's just practice, 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 in my opinion.
Well, I mean, that brings up a good point. Do you encourage people, like the ladies and gentlemen that are watching right now, to like, do you go to YouTube videos to look at you techniques? I mean, how do you know what kind of guides would you suggest people go to be able to learn something new?
Yeah, I definitely loved YouTube, especially if I would get like a new eyeshadow palette and I would have no idea what to do with it. What colors look good, because that's a huge thing in makeup, is like what colors blend well together and kind of in a color theory type of way. And it can be really intimidating and really confusing. Like I would have an idea in my mind of how this eyeshadow look was going to turn out, and then I would blend it together and the colors just did not look good together, right? So what I like to do is I like to go on YouTube, and I mean there are tons of talented people on there. So regardless of the person, you're watching, typically they have really good pointers. And I would look up the name of the palette that you're using, or name of the lipstick, or name of, whatever product you're using, because like 9 times out of 10, somebody's already reviewed it and already kind of showed you how to use it in a type of way. And then also what's really good with finding things on YouTube is sometimes like the pictures that the advertisements have, like that's not your face shape, right? Like it might look completely different on one person than it is the other. So on YouTube, you can find somebody who kind of looks similar to you, has similar bone structure, and then kind of go off of that, because that's what would, look best on you.
Well, that makes sense. And also with coloring, because I think a lot of times you may see something, but the color may not look good on you. If somebody has fair skin and somebody has like an olive complexion, it may not be the same thing. So you suggest going to YouTube or looking at reviews to see if it's going to match your skin tone.
Absolutely. I mean, something that I learned back in college was that because I'm a fair skin tone, like a very kind of white or champagne kind of highlighter looks really good on my skin. But then people who have a darker complexion, like that's just, it's too much contrast. So like a gold or like kind of a more bronzy highlight would look way better on them, which I had no idea, because obviously I'm experimenting on myself when it comes to makeup. So I'm using what looks good on me. And then, I would suggest a product to my friend and she'd be like, "What are you giving me? Like, that's going to look so bad." And I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even think about that." So, yeah, it's definitely good to go. If you're going to go online and look at a product review, or look at a type of kind of trend or makeup look you want to try, it's really good to find somebody who matches your complexion, matches kind of your face structure. It might be really, really helpful that way. And that's the beauty, the beauty of YouTube is that there's even smaller creators who look exactly like us, you know what I mean? Rather than the people who are, the beauty influencers who are, have millions of followers. Like they might, they're not going to match every single person that watches them, right? So, but that's the great thing about YouTube, is there's just tons of people on there doing the exact same thing, and you're able to find something that matches and works with you.
No, that's awesome. Another thing I noticed too is about like trends, because a lot of times on YouTube you see all these, for example, like this Coachella trend where these eyeshadows you just mentioned are so bright and neon. I honestly wouldn't know what to do with them. So, and a lot of times I wondered, are trends applicable to every person? Because a lot of times I think it depends on age and like all that kind of stuff. Can you explain it? Because sometimes I think not necessarily a trend is going to be good for you. I mean, if I put on the Coachella colors, I just think, for me, I feel like I would look like a clown. What do you think?
No, I totally understand what you're saying because you know what? That's the thing is we're all different, we're all unique, right? So some things look absolutely gorgeous on some people, and then you try it out and you're like, "Oh my God." Like this just does not work. And I think a huge lesson in that is that like you when it comes to beauty, you will always be able to find something that makes you feel confident, makes you look great. And like everybody can have their own thing that sometimes doesn't work with others, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like we don't all have the type of face that works with every range of makeup trends out there, right? And it's not anything that has to do with you. That just has, that's just something that, you know, may work for other people and may not for you, but that doesn't make it any, less, it doesn't make you any less important, you know?
Right, right. Well, so then what do you recommend to the ladies out there and gentlemen out there about going out on the limb and maybe going to Amazon and trying different products that you've never tried before? That's my new thing. I'm going out on a limb, but I'm always thinking, what happens if it doesn't work? What happens if you buy something and then it's like, this is not right? I mean, what would you recommend? It's still the psychology of going out there, like you're constantly getting new products on Amazon. Are you constantly trying to, broaden your horizon as far as color is concerned?
Definitely. I think especially lately, there is a huge trend in bolder colors. I mean, I chose a little bold lip today. And I think, you can do things like a bold lip and a simple eye look, just so you feel a little bit more, comfortable with it. If you are trying out colors, definitely a huge thing that I love about Amazon is that people do not let me down with their reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So I go through all the review photos. Like that is my thing. I read everything, the negative, the positive, like just to come up with my own decision. I mean, I'm super indecisive when I buy stuff anyways. So I love to do, a lot of research in people's comments. That's the best thing about Amazon. You just scroll down and you have like tons of opinions on the product, even photos that show you what it looks like, and you're like, oh my God, that person, has the same skin tone as me and that color looks amazing. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a quicker, easier thing to do on the website that you're going to buy it from, right?
I think that's, you brought up such a good point, because what I've noticed when I look at those reviews, and you guys that are watching too, let us know how important the reviews are to you. What I like about it is it also says Amazon verified purchase. So to me, it's like this person actually bought, it wasn't given to them so they would say a good review. They purchased it with their own money and then they gave an honest review. And I love it, like you said, when people that are purchasing actually take their photo, and then they show, like even foundation, they'll do like, this half of my face was nothing and this half of my face was the foundation that I chose. Because I love those honest reviews, because it makes a difference in whether you're going to purchase the product or not, right?
Definitely. Like literally the reviews is the first thing I go to. And it's great too, because when you see the product, it even tells you like how many stars it has and how many reviews it actually has. So you can even kind of be like, oh, this one has, not as many comments. So you might find something, that has more comments if you are, I mean, that's what I do, because it really helps me, base my opinion on if I'm going to buy it or not. I love reviews, definitely.
Absolutely. Now, I know we're going to talk about hair today, but you just brought up such a good point, because you were talking about like you have a little bit of color today. So let's quickly talk about your makeup, because I noticed I love everything you guys. It looks so summery and fun. I love your nails. I love your lipstick. Can you tell us what lipstick is it? What nails? Because it's the first thing I noticed. It was such a pop of color, and it reminded me kind of like of fruits like strawberries and peaches and that kind of stuff. Tell us about your nails and tell us about your lips. I love them.
Yes, so I decided to do a little pop of color. And whenever I do like a bolder lip, I always try to keep the eyes a little bit more simple. So I actually have no eyeshadow on at all. I've got the eyeliner with the NYX, very black eyeliner pen. And then I've got my Kiss eyelashes on. Those are my go-to. I love them. I usually do the synthetic lashes just, for, I don't like to do the animal cruelty stuff. So I usually find stuff that is synthetic. And then also the lips are Revlon. I think they're a Revlon. Oh, I don't know the exact name of it, but they're in a color that is not a true red. It's a little bit more corally, which I love for the summer because I think in my mind, like a big, bold, like deep red lip, like that pure red is so romantic. And that's more of like kind of a night thing. And, if you're going on a date, like that's definitely something that it's very romantic. Whereas this color it is a red, but it has a definitely kind of like what you said, like it looks, fruity, like a strawberry, or it looks like I like to say it has a little bit more coral in it. And yeah, I get my nails done at the salon, so I can't.
Oh, so those are gel nails.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, Ravi Chandra says hello to you.
Hello.
Ravi Chandra, Rosemary, Margaret, Ann, if any of you guys have any questions that you would like to ask Michelle, she is here right now. We're talking all things beauty and all things that you can purchase right here on Amazon Prime. And we are talking, your lips to me do look like almost like a berry. Like you said, now that you say that, there is a difference between the true red and it almost looks like you said, a corally, or is it a pinky red tone? So you think that's ideal for summer, and does it match all skin tones?
It definitely is super complimentary. I mean, any really shade of red, it can look gorgeous on any skin tone. I liked this one because it does really pop, and it is more of a corally color. Like it's a coral red. That's what I'm trying to describe it as. Because yeah, it's not deep at all. It's very light. It's very summery. And what I love about the Revlon lipsticks is they feel like you're wearing chapstick. Like it's so buttery and smooth, and it feels super hydrating, which is super essential for summer. Like I cannot stand like the matte finish lipstick in the summer. I can't do it. It's too drying. I feel like my lips are, as dry as the summer heat. So I typically try to go with a more kind of buttery lipstick.
Got it. And that brings up a good point too. But Amazon customer, thank you so much for following us. Thank you so much for just following us. And like I said, we are talking to beauty influencer Michelle Blass right now. And that brings up a good point, Michelle, because it is summer right now. And you were saying that, you're using more hydrating lipstick for summer. Let's talk about, because so many times a lot of us use the matte foundations, matte powders, all that. In the summertime, do you transition from a more matte look as far as foundation, cover stick, and powder is concerned? Do you transition to something more dewy? What type of products do you use for that as far as coverage is concerned in the spring and summer?
So it is tricky. It kind of depends on your skin type. I have dry skin, so definitely for the look of it, I love to go dewy in the summer. But I know a lot of people, deal with very oily skin, and in the summer with the heat, it's like 10 times worse. So a matte might be a good option for you if your skin is more oily and you tend to sweat more in the summer, because that's a really, like solid kind of product that's just not really gonna budge, and it's not gonna let the oil seep through. Whereas a more glowy foundation, because there is already oil in it, which makes it look more glowy, you might overproduce it, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you have to find a balance. So for me, I love going glowy in the summer, more matte in the winter, just kind of how I find it like looks a little bit better with the change of the season. But it depends on your skin type, really. I mean, some people want to stay matte all year round, and that works for them because they have a more oily skin type. And it's really kind of yeah, it depends on your skin type.
That's right. That's right. So you guys, it's best to look, and like you said, you can always go to YouTube tutorials and take a look for your skin type. Helene says, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, you guys. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, please do. We're talking to Michelle Blass, and she is a beauty influencer. What would you recommend? Because we are going to basically talk about hair today, but what would you recommend as far as, like you were just mentioning, the heat? Because in California, it's been, over 100 degrees every day. How do you keep foundation, concealer, powder from not, and you guys wanted to like sliding literally down off your face? Because that's what I feel like. You look so nice. You get out the door, you guys, right? And then 15 minutes out, everything that you worked so hard on is now down. How do you hold everything? Because we are going through a heat wave right now. How do you keep everything so pristine?
My go-to is setting spray. My favorite is the Urban Decay All Nighter. You can get it on Amazon. It is amazing. It literally does not budge. It was my go-to setting spray, in college when I was going to the clubs. But now, exactly what you said, we're in a crazy heat wave. We have been for the last couple of weeks. So it's an essential to keep it all together. What I do actually is I spray it all over my face, and then I actually have a fan. I should have grabbed it for you, but I have a fan that, like a hand one, and I just wave and dry it to the skin. And you can I find if I do a quick dry like that, it tends to like really be like tacky almost. And it's funny because after you spray on a setting spray, you will know that it's gonna stick and have your makeup stay all day if you like open your eyes and it's kind of like your face is a little bit like stuck. You're like, oh my god. And then you kind of gotta like move around a little bit, and then it like softens up a bit. But yeah, and then you're like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm stuck for the day. And then also another product you can look into, I know they have them on Amazon as well, is blotting paper. I personally don't typically use them because my skin type is super dry. But if you're outside in the heat, it's perfect for sweat. You can literally just blot, your forehead or wherever you tend to get oily or sweaty, and it sucks up all that oil. And I find it always leaves your makeup alone. Like it actually leaves the makeup intact. It just sucks up the oil. That's what it's, meant for, right? So.
That's what I love too, you guys. That's such a good point because I have dry skin, but when you sweat like crazy, I've used these blotting papers and it keeps the makeup on. It dries out the liquid, the sweat or the oil or whatever, because if you keep just putting on powder, I've noticed, and you guys let us know in the chat if the same thing happens to you, I feel like it just gets cakey. In the summertime, you have a tendency to get really cakey because you keep trying to dry, and it just gets so gross, and then it gets cracks. And then if you've got fine lines and wrinkles, I feel like it just completely sets into those fine lines and wrinkles, and it emphasizes them even more. For ladies that are older, would you consider in the summertime to not use a lot of powder? Because what would you do with that if you have fine lines and wrinkles?
I think you made an excellent point about keep adding on powder because it's just, like you said, it's going to keep building up. If you think about it, when you're using a blotting paper, you're taking away that oil rather than packing more on top of more. And even if you're putting powder on top of, some sweat or maybe some oil, what you're doing is you're just keeping the oil there and just moving it around with the powder. So you might even get a little bit more, separation in the makeup, right? So I think for skin types where, you're older, you have a little bit more texture on your skin, it's definitely, I 100% recommend a good kind of putty primer before you put on your foundation. That's really gonna kind of fill in those creases and fill in any enlarged pores or anything like that. And then it kind of gives you a smoother base for your foundation so that when you are putting powder on top, it's not getting, stuck in any sort of creases or any sort of texture that you have on your face, it's kind of just going right on top of the foundation. And then for sure, blotting papers. And I would even go and get a fan. So a little hand fan so you can fan yourself if you're outside. I mean, it's, then you're gonna keep your face cool. You're not gonna sweat as much, and then you probably won't run into as many problems.
Oh, that's so true. And also, you just brought up primer, and I was going to ask about that because we've talked about this before, the importance of a good primer. I was reading up, you guys, because I knew she was coming on today. Jelly primers. There's one by e.l.f. and you can find it on Amazon. And a jelly primer, they say, kind of stays sticky and tacky. Does that help your foundation and your concealer and your powder stay on? I was thinking of buying it. Once again, the thing about just experimenting and going outside of the box and trying something new, you guys. What do you think of that? Like, is that good for people who have fine lines, wrinkles, that are older, that want to have a smooth smooth canvas before they even start their foundation?
So it's interesting. I think a more putty one is good for a smoother kind of canvas for your face before you put your makeup on, because it's filling up any texture and it's very, very smooth. Like you said, that jelly primer, I would 100% get it for you. It is incredible. But the difference is that the putty or more of a silicone based one really smooths out the face, and then you put on your makeup, whereas the jelly one, I'm pretty sure it's like a water-based one. It creates exactly what you said. It's sticky, it's tacky. That's if you want your makeup to last all day, because the makeup sticks right onto it. And it definitely will create a similar kind of barrier from your skin to your makeup, because the product is sticking basically directly to the primer rather than directly to your skin. So you definitely might see a little bit. I mean, if you had texture skin, I personally would recommend more of the putty or the silicone based one. I mean, we've talked about it, the e.l.f. So now you have two e.l.f. primers to try. The e.l.f. putty primer is my go-to. That's the one that I like the most. It just feels good on the skin. And then if you're going out all day, maybe you're going to, you're going to be outside, or you're going to go to even the beach or something, right? And you want that makeup to stick, you're going to definitely get the jelly one.
Oh, awesome. Got it. Now, you guys, we're going to transition into hair today, because that's the real reason why you came on today, was to talk about hair, summer hair, great products for men and ladies. But first, let's talk about your personal hair journey. Because for you guys who have, issues with your hair, let's listen to Michelle when she's talking about you've had a big journey with your hair. So why don't you start at the beginning? Tell us about your hair and then where you are today.
Okay, so this is my natural hair, natural color. It's been a while since I've seen it. So basically it started, just kind of experimenting. I think my last year of high school and the beginning of college, my hair was like a bright red, just box dye red. It was, out there. It was fun. I liked it. And then I made the poor decision to try and bleach it at home, which was not a good idea, not from red. So my hair was like, oh my God, like all different kinds of colors. Like I think it was because I went to the salon to get it fixed, and the girl basically put a deep purple like toner over it. So my hair ended up being purple. So
oh, wow.
Like, okay, whatever, sorry.
I said, wow.
Yeah. And but then when the purple faded, it was a little bit of purple, it was pink in places, it was a little bit orange in places. And it was so funny because people would ask me like what color my hair was, and I'd be like, oh, it's the sunrise. That's because it was all these different colors. But from there, now this took from like April till September I was slowly able, because I damaged the hair pretty bad with the bleach. I literally had no idea what I was doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you don't do your research. I mean, it can, not end the best. I mean, people go to hair school for a reason, like it's complicated. It's actually like, it's literally a science to it, right? So, so then by September, I was like blonde. So I was blonde for about 2 years, which anybody who, is blonde, from going to the salon, like not naturally, it's a process on your hair. It can be really drying. It can be really damaging. Your hair tends to be like weaker. After about 2 years, I transitioned kind of back into my natural color. I had short hair for a while, and that was all fine and dandy until I got hired to model for a hair show. So I went on this hair show. Well, I went to the audition, and they asked if anyone was comfortable cutting their hair short, and I was like, this is the only way I'm getting in. So I was like, yeah, sure. Like I love experimenting with my hair. I think it's so fun. It always grows back. So I mean, if you're not in love with it, I mean, you just gotta wait a couple weeks. But basically, when I went to this hair show, I didn't know how short was when they said they were cutting it short. And by the end of the show, I had a literal pixie cut, and it was purple again, which is hilarious. That's my favorite color, so I was having a blast. And I had the purple pixie cut for a couple months. Then I dyed it back to my natural color, and that growing out process was insane. If you're interested in seeing photos of my transition, I mean, I was taking photos, posting them on Instagram the whole way. So you can definitely see kind of the transition of growing out the hair. And because it was so short in the back and long in the front, but because your hair starts down here, I mean, I had a full-on mullet for like months. Like I was like, oh my God, like I have to grow this out before I can cut it again. And yeah, so it's basically been my natural color since then, and just growing it out. And obviously you can see like my hair's pretty long now. So it definitely, I mean, I think everybody's hair growing kind of time frame it's different for everybody, but I have noticed since I switched my hair care routine over the last year, I've gotten so much more growth. Like even I got my hair cut recently, and the stylist was like pulling out like these little spots, and she's like, oh my God, this is like new growth. And I was like, oh my God. So like, I'm actually also growing new hair from the scalp, which, probably could have been breakage from when it was blonde, or even, with the bleaching, like maybe it kind of, damaged the hair follicle, like in my scalp, but now it's finally regrowing. So, yeah, definitely. I'm like swearing by my hair care routine now.
Oh my goodness. Well, Margaret says, you have beautiful hair, Michelle.
Thank you.
And then she also says, do you recommend drying your hair directly with the hair dryer after washing your hair? That's a good question, because I mean, a lot of people say, do you towel it and then dry it, or do you dry it right away after it's soaking wet, or do you wait a while?
So this is actually huge for dealing with frizziness. What I like to do, I mean, typically I like to try and let my hair air dry. Obviously, if you've got work in the morning and you take a shower in the morning, you've got to dry it. So I definitely recommend, personally, what I do is I'll use a microfiber towel. They are a lot, or even like a very like 100% cotton t-shirt if if you order a microfiber towel and you're waiting on it, because towels that we use for our bodies tend to be really rough, and they can really, if you're like rubbing your hair like this, it can cause a lot of frizziness, and even can cause a little bit of damage and breakage. So what I do is I will get out of the shower, I put my hair up in a microfiber towel and I leave it in there for about probably 10 minutes because I like to moisturize my body. And then I'll moisturize, moisturize my face. Even sometimes I'll do my makeup and leave it up in there for, 20 minutes. And then I'll take it out because when you blow dry your hair, you want it to be like damp, not wet. Because because when your hair is wet, it tends to be a lot stretchier. So when you're blow drying your hair, if you're using a round brush or something like that, it can really stretch on the hair, which can make it a lot more prone to breakage. So I would put your hair up in a soft towel and kind of let it, or even have it out and let it air dry a little bit before you go in with the hair dryer.
Oh, awesome, awesome. That's great because Margaret just said, awesome, exclamation point, exclamation point. I'm about to buy a microfiber towel. How very cool. And I didn't even know, you guys, I don't even know about microfiber towels. So I'm glad that you guys are saying this today. And be like Margaret, if you have any more questions that you would like to ask Michelle, she's here for you today and we are live. So if any questions that you want to ask about beauty, skincare, or hair, Margaret said this is good to know just now. Thank you. I think it is too. These are great, easy, simple products that you can get right here on Amazon that can make your life so much easier. What do you recommend? Because it actually brings up a good point. I've got really frizzy hair, even though you may not be able to tell right now. It's super frizzy. What do you recommend as far as the drying process to keep and minimizing these frizzies down, especially when it's so humid right now in the summertime? It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I think something that might help you out is the microfiber towel for sure. If you don't have one, you have to get it. It's super, super soft. Obviously, microfiber, the fibers in it are really small. So they're not rough on your hair at all. They're not causing any sort of frizz. I definitely dealt with a lot of frizz. I still have the, kind of normal flyaways, but my hair used to be crazy frizzy, especially if I was towel drying it, rubbing it in between the towels. So I don't even do that anymore. I literally get out of the shower, I put it right up in the microfiber towel. Usually one's meant for hair. They're super, super easy to wrap your hair up in. And leave it until it kind of soaks in a lot of that excess water. And then what I would recommend for you is get a good leave-in conditioner. And people, a lot of people think leave-in conditioner is just for curly hair or really damaged hair, whatever. I recommend it for everybody because it really kind of seals the follicle a little bit so that it's not as, prone to being frizzy. And then I put it in my damp hair. I comb it through. And then I would also, after you're done styling it, I would put an oil in the hair afterwards, especially, mostly on the bottom. Depends on if you have a really dry scalp or not. You could put it in the roots, but that's going to make your hair look oily, more oily, faster. And, I would kind of put some oil in the ends after you're done styling, which a lot of people don't think about doing. Usually people think about doing it before styling, but if you do it after styling, then it creates a really nice shine. And it also helps reduce frizziness for sure.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that, you guys. It's so interesting. It's not only the products, but it's when to use them, in what order, and application, how to use them. So now, you guys, we have some great products that are available right here on Amazon that Michelle has chosen today, in specific about hair, to help you with your hair. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the first one? I'm going to tell you guys about it. It's going to pop up right underneath Michelle right now. Now, you guys, the first one we're looking at, this is the Philips Norelco Multi-Groom All-in-One Series. Oh, I love this. It's so great too because we're talking about stuff for ladies and for men, and it's on super sale. This is a trimmer. Tell us all about this.
Which product is it? Sorry?
This is the Multi-Groom for Philips Norelco. Did you choose this one?
I'm not sure what product.
It's a trimmer for men.
Oh my God. Okay, yes. Okay.
Oh, good. You guys, I thought I made a mistake. I was like, wait a minute. Yes, this is a trimmer for men.
So
And you know,
good.
we have this. I use it and we have it too. So, I mean, I think it's awesome, but tell us about it and why did you choose it?
Oh my God. Okay, that's so funny. I'm like, what are you talking about? So it's actually funny. My husband hasn't gotten a haircut in 2 years. I've been doing it. And it's so funny because like this shaving kit is perfect. Like it has the different, I think it's a like a 16 attachment or something. There's a lot of attachments that go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is you literally clip them onto the clippers, and it's how much hair you're gonna cut off. So for my husband, I usually do the sides like a I think I do like a 7/8 of an inch sort of thing. And I trim all of the sides, and then I can get the 1 inch one and do the top. I'll get a little scissors and like cut around his ears, the hair, right? So I've actually been cutting boys and men's hair for forever. Like I said in the beginning, I have three brothers. So all growing up, like they were the only, I was the only person they went to cut their hair. So I even cut my brother's friend's hair. In college, I was cutting people's hair. Like I mean, this is the thing is I have absolutely zero education in cutting hair. Okay. So like, I'm not going to tell you, how to do it and the science behind it. But with this product is it makes it so easy to just kind of do an um, all around length cut, and just something that kind of cleans it up a little bit, if you don't have time to go to the hairdresser, or maybe, with my husband, he had a lot of incidences where he didn't like the haircut that he got, right? Like sometimes, it's hard to, interpret what you want to a stylist. So if you're able to do it at home or do it yourself at home, it definitely can kind of relieve a little bit of that stress. And then also it's great for even body hair. Like, I mean, if you want to do a little, Dave, my husband, calls it a little manscaping, trim his body hair a bit with it. It's like super great for that. I definitely really, really like it. Would recommend it if want to try a little at home styling.
That's so funny because, over here with the Doug Jeffrey Fit Over 50, we do manscaping too. It's a, it's a weekend activity is manscaping. And Margaret says, I have those too. That's awesome. Yeah, so all three of us have that product. That's so funny. I want to show you another product, you guys, that Michelle has recommended. It's going to pop up right underneath her. Allure 3-barrel curling iron wand. This is with an LCD temperature display. And is this for crimping? This looks so neat. It's also an Amazon choice. It's on sale right now. How to use this and what type of look can you achieve with this?
So I've been really into this. It's similar to a crimper, but like, now it's like the 2021 version of it. So it's essentially it makes these perfect beach waves. And like, I have the hardest time with styling my hair. Like that's just something that, it's like writing with my left hand sort of thing for me. I just can never, with the hair curler, I have a lot of trouble with hair curlers. So with this is, you don't even have to use a hair curler. You literally pick up the hair and it's a clamp, and I think it's the 3-barrel one.
It is.
And you just clamp it on, lift up and clamp it on again, and it gives you these like gorgeous like beach mermaid waves in your hair, which I think is definitely in right now for summer. Like if you just, and it's quick, you're just clamping on your hair. I think with my length of hair, I probably have to do it twice. And it's literally simple. It takes about 15, 20 minutes to do. and then you look like you've spent an hour with a hair curler getting those perfect waves.
Now, would you suggest with that crimper, would you start at the top up here, or do you start lower down on your hair?
I think it's up to what kind of style you want to have. I find the closer, because you have to think when you start closer to the scalp, it's going to bump out. So if you want more volume, I would definitely go higher up. But if you're looking just for a gentle wave, you can definitely start lower down. You know, it kind of looks like you've had your hair in a braid for a while, you know, so it's super, super cute.
And do you suggest using a like a setting spray before when you do it and then a spray after? Or is this something that you can achieve without any type of product?
Personally, I always use a heat protectant. I think it's super, super important to protect your hair from the heat. And then it depends. I mean, if I'm going to like the beach and I want it to look kind of just loose and like, you know, very effortless, I won't spray anything into it. But I did use the waver, and I went to like a friend's barbecue, and I loved the kind of lift at the top. So I sprayed the top, and then I sprayed the pieces around my face because I wanted those to be really defined. And then, sorry, and then I kind of like raked my fingers through the waves and then gave it kind of an overall spray because I wanted it to hold that exact shape. But what I find with this, if you're not going to do any sort of hairspray or styling spray, if you're not going to do that, it's going to kind of loosen a little bit and just look more kind of like a relaxed wave, which is also super, super cute. Your hair still looks done. It just looks effortless and very like beachy. But yeah, if you want the wave pattern to stay like, well, that's when I would use a hairspray.
You could also kind of sleep on it too. If you wanted like it to stay and preserve it, you could spray it and then be careful and sleep with it and then kind of have a looser wave, you know, the next day.
Absolutely. I think that's like such a good idea. Yeah, it's perfect. I love it. It's so easy to get that effortless look. And, you know, I don't have to, you know, go through the trouble of trying to figure out a hair curler.
Well, for those of you who have a hard time with hair curlers, myself included, I have a ton of hair. I don't know what to do with it. This is what I actually do a lot. And so tell us about this one. What you're looking at is the Conair Double Ceramic Flat Iron. This is 1 inch, and it is on sale for under $20, you guys. This is a great Amazon Choice deal right now at over 11,000 ratings at 5 stars. So tell us about this product and why it's so good.
Yeah, so this one is great. It's probably the first, I don't know if you have this problem, but like when I straighten my hair, and I don't know if it's just my old hair straightener just got too old, but like it was almost get like stuck while I was straightening my hair down.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one is like the only one that I haven't experienced it like getting stuck on my hair. It's so smooth. It just glides right through. And like, I feel like I'm not having like a tug of war with my scalp. And yeah, the ceramic on it is gorgeous. It's like such a pretty color. Like, I think it looks super sleek and super, you know, like chic. And yeah, I love this one.
Oh, you know, it's funny. Would you recommend, like if you want to get the beach waves you were just talking about, and your hair is frizzy, and you guys, I wonder if this too, would you recommend using a flat iron, then taking that hair and then going through with the curler, or just using the curler straight away?
I think I would just use the curler straight away, because if you're gonna put the hair straightener on, you don't want to like mess up the wave pattern, right? Because then it might look a little bit like odd. I definitely love how smooth your hair looks with a straightener. But I think if you are using like a heat protectant, and then like we said with the with the oil after you style your hair, you put some oil into it, that might really calm down the frizziness. And I think that's really good to use the oil after straightening your hair too, because then you've got that gorgeous shine that you can see through the when your hair is super straight.
Oh, see, that's a great tip of advice, you guys. So it's like talking about the implement that you're using, and then also topping it off with the product once you've used it. So you guys, this is the next one I really like. This is the one that you guys are talking about, and Margaret's going to get. This is the microfiber hair towel. Now you can get 3 of them here, and this is for wet hair. So this helps with curly hair, and also it helps everybody with anti-frizz. So tell us again about this, and what a great price.
Yeah, so I love this one because, like I said, the microfiber, when you get it, like it feels so soft, and you're like, oh my God, like this is like too soft. Like it's not gonna soak up anything. But the microfiber is designed to really get all of the moisture out quickly. I know that it's so funny. I mean, this is kind of not unrelated, but they'll use microfiber towels when they do like car detailing, like when they wash cars, because it's so gentle, doesn't scratch the cars, and it soaks up all the water. So, yeah, I mean, your hair is very delicate. People don't think that it really is, but it is really delicate. And when you're using a microfiber towel on it, it's not going to rough up your like the hair cuticle, and it's just going to keep it all kind of smooth. But also it's super effective with drying the hair quickly. So like one of the viewers said that, you know, if your hair's wet, you come right out of the shower, you got to go to work soon, you got to go somewhere soon, right? And I suggested that you know, make sure your hair is at least damp, like not as wet, before you use a blow dryer on it. These microfiber towels are quick, like they suck up the water so fast. I would leave it on for like probably 5 to 10 minutes, and it's already damp. And if I leave it in for even longer, like it feels not almost dry, but like I'm like, oh, this is like perfect. All I need is to run the blow dryer through for about, once over, and it's dry at that point.
Well, then, you guys, I'm going to get it because I need this, because my hair is always, it soaks it up like a sponge. I have so much water in my hair, it drives me insane. Now, Margaret, you just asked, can I find that iron that Michelle is talking about in the Sway's carousel or storefront? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show it to you guys one more time. And so when we do you want to like screen capture it, Margaret? I want to show the one that Michelle is talking about. Once again, this is the Conair double ceramic flat iron. And like Michelle had said, it's got this beautiful rose gold inside on the ceramic. It's so pretty. And she says it doesn't stick on her hair, because I think we've all experienced that, right? When it kind of gets stuck on the hair. So Margaret, go ahead and take a look at this now. So you will be able to find it right here on Amazon. It is on super sale, you guys. It's under $20. So if you can look at it right now, that is the one that Michelle recommended. And tell me if you guys saw it. And then I'm going to show you another one that Michelle recommends as well. I've used this product for years. I love it. It's funny that you even mentioned this. This, you guys, is L'Oreal's Paris Elnet Satin Extra Strong Hold Hairspray. This has been around for ages. Everybody loves it. The formula does not need to change. Tell us why everybody likes this hairspray. I love it.
That's so funny that you use it. Yeah, I've been using it as well for a long time. It's like my go-to hairspray. What I find with this hairspray, which is a lot different from other ones that I've tried, or that if I've had my hair styled, it's super different. But this one has a great hold, but then once you run a brush through it, it's not like trying to brush through like concrete. You know what I mean? Like it goes almost right through, maybe a little tugging, and then your hair's so smooth. So like I actually recently learned that when you use like a gel or a hairspray, it's supposed to create kind of a cast around the hair. and then you can either crunch it and kind of break that cast so that your hair feels like hair again. It doesn't feel like plastic. And but it still has that hold. It's actually the cast almost like kind of really helps the product seep into the hair and hold that pattern or the straightness, the curl, whatever you're doing and using the hairspray for. And then you can just brush through it. It still holds that style, but it feels like there's no product in it. And that's something huge for me. I hate the feel of crunchy hair. That's what I call it, crunchy hair, when you've got like that, you know, really sticky hairspray in there. But this is the one that I've like overall have never had a problem with. And it's funny too, because I was gonna bring this up. I've been using this. It's this beauty hack that people are talking about. I know right now what's super in is kind of the fluffy eyebrows.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
So this is hairspray. I spray it on my spoolie and brush it through my eyebrows and brush my eyebrows up, and it holds them. Like I haven't filled in my eyebrow at all today, and it literally looks like it's filled in, like it looks like a full fluffy brow. And it definitely feels like sticky, but you kind of want that for a eyebrow gel. But then also like if I just tap on it, I can feel the cast like breaking, but it still holds the shape. It still holds my eyebrows up and kind of fluffed out. And I've been into doing this. Like I have not filled in my brows in like at least a month, because I'm just like spraying it with the hairspray, brushing my eyebrows up, wait a minute, it gets tacky, I brush them up one more time and they stay perfect. I just found this out and I'm like obsessed with it.
Oh, that's awesome. I am definitely going to try that. Now, Michelle, if people want to follow you on Instagram, if they want to follow all your beauty tips, see what you're doing next, how would they go about doing that?
So you gotta follow me on Instagram. My handle is at Michelle U, the letter U portfolio. So I actually have videos on there where I talk about my hair care, how I wash my hair in the shower, my step